wait to see who shows up. So let's see. So far. Oh, Rob, hi, sweetie. Finally found me in session here. Good. Glad you're here. Fatima, tell me about yourself. How did you find this place?
Can you hear me?
I can perfectly.
So this is magic for me because I've been following you for maybe some months. I saw interviews. I'm in Portugal. I'm Portuguese. And I saw your interviews on the internet. And for me, it was just like, I have to listen to everything you say, your side, your trip to the center of the earth. Everything makes so much sense. And everything you say, I go, look. So now I'm with Maya. I'm going to have a session with Maya Monday. I just discovered her from your last interview.
Wonderful. So, look, Maya is incredible. And did she give you any idea what she's been working on now?
I didn't talk to her yet. I've been avidly listening to her videos on her site. I already heard the Taya, how do you say?
Taya? The golden Taya.
Mm-hmm. The golden Taya that you mentioned. I found it. I need to hear it all the time. So I'm going to have a Karshik record session with her. But wonderful. I didn't talk to her yet. I didn't talk to her yet.
Well, here, I'll give you a little preview, and I want to pitch what she's doing anyway. Look, she has a body of work that she's been channeling since the mid-70s.
Yes.
The material that I started to see was being documented and channeled like in the mid-90s. And there's a certain amount of that I'll address because, you know, there was a reason why we found that document on the Golden Tire. And there's stuff we're supposed to know. But my guides have continued to remind me there's a lot of discernment that needs to go along with distributing that information. Mm-hmm. And I need to I'm compelled to be really careful about the way that we do that. But at the same time, look, this phenomenon is taking place. And the information that's contained in here resonates like crazy with me. So I believe that this is true. Now, again, the timeline is the timeline. You know, in the next dimension, we don't measure things like we do here linearly. Lots of things happen at the same time. So I wandered down that little sideline for a reason, and I'll think of whatever my damn point was and come back with it. But good, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I just, it's true. I thought, what is this true? This Zoom meeting, is it real? So I just tried it and I see your faces. So this is like, wow, magic.
Oh, now I recall. Yeah, Maya. So Maya somehow, I think she wrote a book about Rigel, the blue star. It was kind of a preview for what she's been working on now. And there's a whole nother production coming out. She's working on someone that's doing an autobiography. Bless her heart, she's in her early 70s, and you can tell she's getting a little fatigued. But somehow she got involved in this project. Elvis, we all know Elvis, and it's kind of timely that this is all happening around the news of his, you know, Lisa Marie and his daughter. Elvis had made a friend who by profession was a nurse, and he'd known her for years. They used to have discussions about dimensional experiences and where he was a starseed and where he thought he was from. They have hours and hours and hours and hours of audio tape that this woman's recorded these sessions in Elvis's voice. Really? Talking to her about how he was from the Blue Star Rigel and these conversations that they would have. Well, Maya somehow has become like the executive producer for all that material. Now, she doesn't have all of the tapes, but she has a lot of them. And so whatever production is going to come out, so that you can hear a little more in the disclosure efforts. Here's Elvis talking about who he was as a starseed coming from the Blue Star Rigel, which is in the Orion belt. So that's what Maya's working on. She always seems to be in the middle of some kind of crazy magic.
Wow.
Yeah, so hi, Paul. How are you, honey?
Oh, I am super good. How are you? I'm so
Good.
you started your things again. And I'm
So
so
am
happy
I.
with you.
I think this is going to be a good day. So just say hello, everyone. Irene, your turn.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Mhm.
Hi. It's great to see you all. It's exciting. It's a thrill. It's
Good.
I love to be in this, but it feels this potential is rising, and it's just amazing.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about what I think happened at the beginning of the year, because I felt a shift. Something happened. But I wanted to say hi, Robyn. Are you working? Can I hear you now?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, I had sound problems. I clicked on my computer and something went awry. So
Okay.
yes, I can hear you and you can hear me. So everything's perfect. Yes, I concur. The beginning of the year, something shifted. Energy just went to the charts. Yeah, beautiful energy. Little shocking at first, but something's coming, definitely. I feel energy just today something happened actually. I'm vibrating like crazy this morning. I woke up this morning, my hands are tingling, my lips are tingling. Something's happening today, definitely. Yeah, beautiful energy. I am excited for this year, and I can't wait for what's going to transpire. I am super excited.
So, Fatima, did you sense anything around the beginning of the year? Did you sense some
Yes,
kind of
and
energetic change?
yes, and there is a joy. There is I've been noticing, at least for me, and that's why I'm here watching you, portals opening and attunements and calls, and it's a very individual, right?
Mhm.
Us need to reply to the word that came to me, actually, this was in 2020 when the COVID thing started, was discernment. That's the word you just said a while ago. And discernment continues to be, discernment is our center, and it's our higher self, it's our soul and spirit in connection with the higher energies, with the center of the universe. And so, yeah, and it's a unique path. And sometimes we mingle like this. These are geometries for me. When we meet, we create sacred geometries, links. So it's not by chance that we are here. Today is Saturday. I didn't go out, and I feel a call to be with you all. I don't know why. It doesn't matter why. It's a heart thing, and I know I'm going to be, and Maya too. And yeah, I do this kind of energetic work for many years with Jim Self-Mastering Alchemy also. That is a main one that I've been going to conferences to USA every year and etc. Working the geometries, the archangels, and you know, working with other planets. And I'm waiting. I feel I'm in the surge or in the urge of getting contact. I don't know with whom. I've been always felt a really strong connection with the Pleiades and Orion and Sirius. It's just a lot of them. There's the Arcturians. There's a huge family. And now they are, and I listen to Bashar a lot. You know, Bashar, Daryl Lanka channels Bashar. I gave the other day, I gave a conference about that, and I initiated some people on Bashar's contacts also. So it's the galactic and it's the center of the earth. I feel there's this column of energy, and we are like crystals. Our bodies are like crystals, and where we are, it's correct, it's right. Where we're going to go, it's correct. I already have all the places that of Golden Taya. I wrote them down yesterday, everything. That Maya said, I know we are going to be at the right place at the right time. We just need to have our discernment on, be connected, and follow our guidance. So we need to be connected every day, at every moment, as much as possible. And even if it doesn't make sense, we need to do that. That's what and it's a solo path, but it's not. I'm with you. I feel like a family. It's the first time I see your faces, but it's not, I feel a huge connection with you, Lowell. I mean, with you too, but I've been following Lowell for a longer time. I have a secret name on Instagram. I see all your pictures that you've been creating, and I feel my heart expand, and I know those places, and the crystals and the andaras and the luminosity and the colors, everything. And so just to say that in these last weeks, just the first weeks of January, I'm contacting you and Maya, for example, these two people that are, and also in Sedona, when you talked about the painter in Sedona, what is her name? She's Japanese. And
Haruko.
Oh yeah, Haruko. I have my drawing made by Haruko. Immediately I had to contact Haruko. I'm in touch with her. She also I got the message from her. It's a nudge. We need to remember who we are. It's not for ego at all. I don't care in the Akashic records if I'm in Egypt. Doesn't matter, many of us were, or if I was Cleopatra, but it's what am I supposed to do? And I want to do it right. This for me is key. And I really feel a joy inside. I feel that in spite of whatever is going on around the world, we are being given so much remembrance and so much connection from outside of Earth, from our brothers, our families, our galactic families, and also from the center of the universe. When I say that, is those beings that never were incarnated, like the archangelics or the teachers of light or everything. So we just, and to be of service is fun. It doesn't have to be a sacrifice. I think what is required of us also, what I feel, is be joyful. We don't need to be jumping up and down. I am many times, and I love colors. But it can be serious, but it's an internal joy. It's an internal joy. And I think this is a huge gift to everyone, for humanity, for the universe, for outside. And I am a completely 100% believer that we are on the right path, that the earth is going wherever it needs to go, independent of humanity. Okay, we do, and we help, or we don't help. But the earth is going. I don't have any doubts about it. But if we help, it's going to go faster. It's going to go better. It's easier. It's like helping a friend, And
But you're still co-creating along the way. So
yes.
Every intent we have is feeding that whole collective idea about when Earth finally reaches her new level of vibration. Here is how we've manifested what that's going to be for all of us. And you're absolutely right, 100%. We've all been connected in the next realm where we continue to complete new soul contracts. You guys didn't cross my path accidentally. You didn't just find me. No. We all agreed back then that there would be a time when our paths would cross for a purpose. Well, I think the purpose is starting to really come into focus now, and the team is showing up. And not because I have something you're supposed to learn. There will be things that you will get from me, but again, these are always energy exchanges. And my gift is unique to me as it is to you, Paula, Robyn, Irene, Fatima, all of you. All of our journeys has been unique. I just love to hammer this point home so that the rest of humanity will hear you're still all sovereign beings with free will. And your gift was supposed to be unique. Your little launch, when you broke off as a spark of source to go and help it learn more about itself. And when you came into this density, you were going to learn all about duality. So those lessons came with bad stuff and good stuff so we could get the context. And that's our contribution. But every one of you had different lessons to learn. Thank you for the shitty ones you had to learn, and you're welcome for the ones I had to go through. That's all I can say. But again, it all feeds the collective. Every incarnation, we've been just storing away more of these that we've had. And when we get back to the next realm where we share all this, because we all came from the law of one there. And the foundation is absolutely love, unity, compassion. We get that. We know we're all connected to one another, which is why I'm really excited about where we're going, and I'm willing to talk about it. I could have just as soon shut up and never said anything else, knowing where we're going, but that wasn't the deal that I made. And so in exchange, I've been getting some really cool abilities back restored to me. And that's happening so that I can show the rest of you that really, from a physical standpoint, none of you are different than I am. So when you focus your attention on that and open up some awareness, use your discernment, absolutely, but be open to things that you can't comprehend yet, because that's what the universe is trying to hit you over the head with, to try and do everything to get your attention right now. Earth's vibration is about to rise. And the only way that we get to share that experience is if our vibration matches hers. What I get to see now when I scoot off to these other places, because my awareness and my frequency is higher than normal, I just need to continue to focus on it, get to stay there. When you get to see those same things, that's what I've been trying to illustrate in these little drawings I keep coming up with. It's just where I see an inner Earth, and that's where the majority of my attention's going. That doesn't take anything away from, I know that there are influences from people that I trust 1,000% that have had interactions with extraterrestrials, or more accurately, ultra-terrestrials. And the difference to me, ultra-terrestrials are higher versions of ourselves, other aspects of us, and those that we already know. The extraterrestrials are those other, in that 110 species that we've seen to identify, that we know of, and is willing to have communications with Earth, that, people like Dave Wallace absolutely is having these experiences. And those are beginning to happen more and more, and with different species. So when we got to examine the things that have been happening in his house, he's kind of an ambassador, and everyone knows that. He's a trusted space for those beings to come and visit. So the last one he told me a few weeks ago was just humorous to me. He had been watching a movie, got into it. Make a long story short, two beings showed up, and they were like scoping out Dave's place. They wanted to see, where he lived and what he did. And to him, Dave explained it, I'm sure in his mind, one was 3.5 feet tall, one was 4 feet tall. They asked for the room to stay dark, but they would make themselves available to some degree. Dave was thinking that to them, he probably looked like a big old hairy, stinky Sasquatch, because, that's their frame of reference. So he admitted, they looked around his place and they touched things, but it wasn't the first time he told me about his original contact with this being KJ, that he has had lots of experiences with. KJ has taken him into ships, and Dave's taken pictures from inside the ship out into space. So it's remarkable stuff. But KJ used to occasionally take something from Dave's place. Now, Dave didn't really understand it until later on. KJ was like taking these things as they were mementos from his trip, show them to people, and then return them later to Dave's spot. So, start to think about it in those terms, that those beings that are coming here are getting used to what Earth is like, and what us beings are like, and what the environment is like, and what our little artifacts are all like. They're doing the same kind of analysis that we think that we're doing on this end, just being ambassadors. Well, ambassadors are being sent here by each one of those races too, to kind of figure out how that interaction is going to take place. So expand your mind beyond that. I'm still focused more on the beings that have been here for a lot longer than we have in inner Earth. That's why my attention seems to be drawn. My first physical interaction was definitely in Telos, but since then, you know, a lot of dots have connected. A lot of information's been backfilled since the end of the year. And there was a period where I didn't really sense any downloads, where months ago I was getting them regularly. And then all of a sudden, here we go again in December, just bang, 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 bang. I had nights where I know when I've had serious downloads overnight because my left eye, the same one every time, gets bloodshot. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't itch, but every time I get some serious downloads, that happens. It's happened 5 times since it first began in August of 2020, and it happened twice in December. And then here's what I can tell you about what I know about this shift that happened. Back in September, if you got a chance to see the transmission that Yemaya did with me, and I got some codes, if you recall, and those codes were going to be tucked away. There was a sequence to it, and that there was a seed placed in my throat, and that I was going to carry that until some time where that seed was supposed to blossom. I thought at the time that she and I were learning the process by which we were going to help others, because during that session, my manipulated DNA had been removed and restored to original human design. And then it was upgraded so that the Earth is being pummeled with greater spectrums of light. Humanity has lived on what we want to label as half oriontric light. And that's what humans have had. Kind of matches the vibration of everything else. But this enhanced photon light that we've been getting, it's full spectrum light. So our physical beings don't have the capacity to hold this greater light and higher frequencies. That's where the retrofits come in. So I thought we were learning that. That wasn't it at all. Whatever I was holding and carrying was meant for all of us. And when it was going to be released, there was going to be some kind of energetic shift that happened. Well, between the holidays, between Christmas and New Year's, I hadn't really heard from Yaya because she's been traveling, but she had reached out and said, if you got some time, I think I got a message. So when I listened to her, there's some information I got from the guides. First and foremost is that to be even more discerning with what I was going to start to talk about. And I know that my guides were focused on the potential volatility of the golden tie information. The truth of the matter is anybody can see that information. So it was going to be more mindful about what the interpretation of the information is. Please don't look at this and think that, you know, it's catastrophic. It will be to some degree. If I sit here in the third density when all this happens, yes, it's catastrophic, but I don't stay in this density, and neither are the rest of you. We're all vibrating at another level, and so is Earth. So that's really what we need to focus our attention on. And when I came to terms with that message, good, then I'm happy to talk about that. But more importantly, they said that whatever that seed I was having was about to blossom. The time had come and the shift was about to take place. And then on January 1st, that energetic shift hit my field. I don't know what it was, but it was like something had been cleared and made room for new energy that was coming, and whatever greater light just seems to be happening. Since then, my body temperature seems to be vibrating higher and increased. Because at night, I'm in freaking Minnesota and it gets cold at night. I sleep with a sheet and I'm good. And, you know, Mary, my beloved, is like buried under the covers because it's cold. So there's something physical that is manifesting at the same time. And that light had already been working on us at a cellular level anyway. We already know for some time that there have been this light energy that's been hitting every sentient being, including the planet, to prepare her for higher frequencies and the light that we're supposed to hold. Well, our guides and whatever other help that we're getting in higher dimensions is helping to prepare us to get that done. So in my case, the first time the baton was passed from sixth dimensional light beings to me was you got to see pictures of that day that happened. That was the first time that there was going to be physical help, because no longer were the ultra-terrestrials considered hands-off on humanity. Oh no, it was time for them to step in. We already showed what we could do back in the 40s when we dropped the hydrogen bomb. And then we did it again in the Nevada desert, and they thought, no more are we taking any chances with anybody destroying the planet. And so they stepped in actively. If you pay attention to when the starseed started to show up, the indigo kids, that was like in the early 50s, wasn't it? Of course it was. Guess what? I was born in 1954. Now I know why I incarnated back here at that time, because there wasn't going to be any chances taken this time with assistance on this side of the incarnations. The real impact that these souls could have required incarnation into the planet. You couldn't just be one of those dimensional beings that was willing to help and just no mechanism to do that. No, here we came. And so it's no surprise to me now when I think about all these things falling into place that within the last two to 3 years, more and more and more people are triggered, knowing that they're here for something else. And now they're trying to figure out what it was. We've all been looking for places that are safe, touchstones we can talk about that had similar experiences. And all this time in the past, we had no idea what it was we were feeling, much less who to talk to about how to share it. Well, that's all coming into focus now. And the reason I was sent to Telos was to show that it was safe for us to be able to get together and start to talk about these things, because all the white noise around us and all the things we were told not to talk about or had been hushed and shamed all that time, screw that. It had even been suggested then when it happened with me, and here's Lowell's pictures to show you, that maybe through the disclosure efforts now, just maybe, there won't be as much shame and intentions to try to discredit all that. Because how in the world you can talk about pictures of UFOs and you can talk about that entire phenomenon, and there still seems to be some question about whether any of that's taking place. But when things like that happens to a guy like Lowell, him, how did that happen to him? And it wasn't true. Well, I think the time has come, because you can't stop people from having dimensional experiences. I question a lot of times, because I've been asked a couple different times about people that have disappeared in Shasta, that over the years, people have disappeared there. And they want to look at it from, this nebulous kind of posture. And to me, what occurred first is, look, I've seen the next dimension. I've seen the culture in Telos. I want to go. I'm good. So you got to wonder how many souls that had the ability to step into that other dimension, how many of them didn't decide to come back? Because, man, it gets harder and harder for me to come back into this density every time I get the ability to reach into the next one. But I know the work's not done here. It's time for me to help the rest of you get situated. So apparently, whatever code I was holding, guys, I think you got it. And not just you, everybody else got it too. That was really a shock to me, because in my little 3D mind, it was great that whatever got planted in me was going to benefit somehow later. didn't have the capacity to understand how. Apparently that day I just served as the vessel to hold it until the time came for it to be released, and it's been released. More and more of the people I've had discussions with since then all suggest that they felt some kind of energetic change around them too. And now there's just greater focus on this whole idea of light, what it is, what light beings are, and how does that affect all of us. I'm not here to spend time on secret space programs and abductees and people that I'm sure they've gone through those experiences, and I don't want to take anything away from that. But that's not the energy I'm going to put out to feed. There's too many other things that people should be paying attention to, and not the crappy way we got here. If I believe, and I do, that my intent is what manifests into my reality now, I have years of history of proving that true. So I'm going to continue to focus on New Earth and where we're going and that vibration and keep it high, as opposed to listen to people that had lousy experiences, drop my vibration, because there is where my barometer is. I know if I'm listening to something and it just makes me feel lousy, I'm not preparing myself for the vibration levels I expect to meet. And I've been to the other side. So you got to do a lot to drag me down anyway, because I have this off switch. As soon as I sense something that just doesn't resonate with me, I love you to death. And I do love you all, but that's not for me. And you've lost my attention. That's the most valuable commodity we possess. Not money, not time, your attention, and where you spend that, because that's how you manifest what's coming back at you. And the universe, especially now, is just waiting to respond in abundance with whatever you put out. Yeah. So Irene, did you sense anything around the first of the year?
Oh, yes. I felt more intensity, a lot of shedding in my body, which was great. And I can hardly sleep at night, which I have regularly, which is fine. A lot of anchoring of energies. It feels like a my column of light is opening up more and more. It's easier. It feels like my vision is wider. It feels. I notice when I just walk on the street, I feel like my vision is widened. Like I see more. Not necessarily multidimensionally, which is totally fine, because I sense it all. I sense more. This afternoon I walked into town, and I already feel this connection with nature, but it's been on and off. But it feels like, wow, the moment I just see a tree and I start to resonate with it, and I just say hi, or just like, oh my, you're so beautiful, thank you for being here. I could just immediately feel this warmth like wrapping around me. It's like, yes, it's in my town, it has arrived, we have arrived. And
when my awareness started to rise, the first thing that I could sense is all of my senses were much more acute. Things I could hear, see, smell, taste, just different expressions that I hadn't experienced before, that were way beyond what I'd had before. That's just, you're at the door. So once your physical things can show you things that you hadn't experienced before, then your etheric body kicks in, and now you start to feel things, because the other five senses weren't designed to do that. But holy cow, our intuition and our higher being is sitting in that other body. Just let it go.
Yeah, and I've had more experiences during my life. I've experienced transmuting my body, like in front of another person, that I dissolved completely. And I didn't notice it. My consciousness didn't notice it. But coming back I could literally see when I touched my hand or my arm, I just touched nothing. So I could just grab through it. So I've had these very conscious experiencing of not so much dissolving. That was a spontaneous thing. And I'm sure it's been a past life thing and I was in the right spot for that to happen. And I know it was a reminder for me and also to bring in the codes for everybody else I would ever come in contact with, to spread it, and to have the memory in the body and just to share it with everybody. So it doesn't matter who I walk in, whomever proximity, I just send it out. And yeah, so I have had these experiences, and I know there's a time for everything, because the consciousness needs to catch up with it. And I just love to be on this planet. I just love to see this nature, the 3D nature, to flourish. The higher dimensions are already fine, I wanted to see it here. I want to so much the clear waters to see it here. I can just cry. I mean, I know
Yeah.
we're so lucky to be on the planet. The fact that we were born here, it means we already survived. The fact that we are here, it means we have survived a long tragedy, but it's turning into gold. It's finally, truly finally, it's happening. And it's the feeling in my body, and the feeling, the humility, and the power we have as just being here and just breathing. It's just mind-blowing. It's just, I feel like getting more calm. There's a lot of anxiety, and I realize now there's been these core fears of having experienced that, these core deep human fears we've had. I feel now we can tackle it, and it's just like, wow, I can dare to see these massive fears, which is just being held in my body. And it's almost like this little part of me, it's kind of like this little child. It's like, no, let's just wait a little bit longer, wait a little longer, because we gain a momentum, and then let's hold a little longer, and then at the right moment we can just blast it all, and it's gonna be so exciting. And I feel this is happening, and this part of me is like, see, we're just right on target. It is exciting, and it's like, it's tearful. And when I see, like, there's such a lot going on the planet, and even people at war, they say, you know what, I don't care if I go through this stuff. I just know it's for a deeper purpose. And isn't that just heartwarming, instead of feeling like desperate and like hopeless, whether you're in a situation or feeling hopeless to help, because we're still like humans, you know, but now feeling like this deep love and this deep care that we're in this together. To me, that's just, and this is what I especially see this year, opening up to these sensations. And instead of the frozen fear that kind of like kept me from experiencing the trees, I've been sensing it outside of me, but it's now more coming from within, and it's like more direct, like, oh my gosh, it's just happening. I don't need to work for it, Oh my gosh, spontaneous. In the cells wake up, and it's just delicious. Yeah.
That's a lovely way to put it. Robyn, how about you? Did you experience anything around the first of the year? Because if anyone
yeah.
was, you little energetic cat,
Well,
it would
yeah,
be you.
absolutely. Well, that was beautiful, Irene. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, absolutely. I was in a magnificent awe of through Christmas and all the energy of love, and just with all the angelics all around me. Just in the awe of just heaven and the angelics around me, as though, not, I can't even say as though in my realm, the angelic realm is all around us at all times. When we hold solace in our own inner self and let go of all the fear that is within us, the abundance of joy and love is just right there. And we don't have to look any further. I mean, it is just, I mean, it's right there in front of our faces. And it's so beautiful, and all the beings and the glory and the joy. And it's just magnificent. And the beauty that has been just exploded at the beginning, at the end of the year through Christmas and the beginning of this year is just, I've just been in awe. And I am just super excited for this year and what is going to just blossom for all of the beautiful beings on this planet, because so much energy is just going to burst through people and beings and this planet. It's going to shake people up. It might be a little scary for people, but I'm just excited. You know, people are going to face things. It's going to be cheerful. It's going to be scary, but it's going to be so joyous by the end of this year. I'm just super excited. And, you know, if we can just sit in our silence and just look around our lives and see the beauty, because holy shit, is our lives beautiful. Our lives are so beautiful. And it just brings tears to my eyes, how beautiful lives are. And
Nicely put.
have forgotten how beautiful this planet is and how beautiful it is around us. We focus so much on what is not, and we have forgotten what is. And there is so much heavenly energy and spiritual energy and so much light that is being poured upon us right now. It is overwhelming. And shit, I'm vibrating so hard right now. They're pouring so much energy on me right now. They have so much to say. Oh, fuck. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm. You want me to come back to you? Because I do have one thought, and then I'm gonna.
They
Go
have
ahead.
something to say. They're asking everything that comes from our heart, comes directly down from the heavens. And if we open up and allow more light to come in that comes directly down from the heavens, directly out, that's all I really understood out of it.
That was awesome. I will make this observation because you're talking about how lovely 3D Earth is, and it absolutely is. This is why we came to enjoy physicality here. But I will say this, I'm 100% certain there's a finite amount of time to enjoy 3D Earth. Get out there and do it now while you still have the opportunity to do so. Not to say that New Earth isn't going to be wonderful, and we're co-creating that, but my goodness, you all have expressed wonderfully how beautiful what we have right now is. And maybe there's some importance in just being grateful for what we have today, and we will build on the rest of it after that. So Paula, your turn to
They're
step
very
up.
adamant
I'm
that
sorry.
we're multidimensional beings, so don't get hung up on everything. We are multidimensional beings, and to remember that don't get hung up on everything.
Perfect.
Sorry.
No, you did great. Paula, how about you?
Well, first of all, Robyn, I want to say thank you. That was fabulous. I could feel that level of energy, and even with what you're conveying, it felt like maybe some wisdom and light codes for us as a gift. And then whoever hears this afterwards, that is beautiful. Also thought I heard a little bit of like my grandparents' Norwegian in there. I don't know.
I never know what it is.
Maybe some ancient language in there that we're connected to. We are all connected. It's all one in the end, right? Well, first of all, I just want to say how happy I am to be here with you all. I'm just so excited to have a tribe. I can't even tell you, first of all. That is the most beautiful thing in the world. As I started on this Telos journey, which is very short for me, we're just starting actually on my birthday, the last June. My birthday is June 19th, which is in Texas, Emancipation Day. And so this kind of started with and then spirit, because I am a medium and an intuitive before this, but didn't really play with the concept of, I knew, extraterrestrial life existed, I wasn't putting the two and two together that we were that connected, because the thought was, they're so far away. They're way over there, right? Like we don't have anything connected. I didn't know these beautiful beings and this glorious feeling of they're within the earth. They're our family. They've been with us from the beginning. And I'm like, I'm still in awe of that and gratitude that our family is right here with us. And I've just been on this very, very much a high. So what was going on around the holidays? I did feel a lot of energy coming in. I had family in town. I was putting the finishing touches on my book. Thank you, Lowell, for allowing me to use an image of Inner Earth on the back cover.
I'm honored. It's awesome. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. And I hope you're okay with me putting your information on there.
You go, girl.
And, a way to contact you through your website, if that's okay.
Sure.
I do feel this strong connection. You're going to have a big tribe. And I'm getting a little bit teary like Robyn right now. I'm just so grateful because this has been my journey, the hope that humanity is going to have this opportunity to, I don't want to be saved, because my message has always been exactly what your all messages has been, is that we're autonomous beings. We do not need saving. We have it within us to do everything we need to do. We just have to have it released. We have to be able to release what's in us, and to reveal the powerful beings that we are again, right? We're not into saviorship. I can't tell you how much that is a tragedy if we were to go that path. No saviors. We are autonomous. And that's been in my readings for 2 years. No saviorship. We are autonomous. But it is nice to have somebody that has been through it for guidance, just like a parent. A parent is going to guide a child to avoid the lessons that they've learned. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. So I have felt a lot of anxiety over the holidays. A lot of, I'm hoping, purging of things, of fears. Yeah, I think everybody's been talking about fear, not fear of going to New Earth, as just fears of, I don't know, just residual fear from being a human being on Earth, fearful of survival, fearful of being hurt, fearful of being abandoned, fearful of not being accepted, which has been our path as human beings throughout this, this feeling of unworthiness, I suppose, has been kind of the paradigm we've been playing, the game we've been playing, unworthiness, and the fear of not being accepted, and then the negative effects of not being accepted, which is survival based, right? So I've been feeling anxious and joyous at the same time. It's been a polarity, like so excited, yet scared. And then the fear, and I'm just going to say this out loud, the fear of, what if this doesn't come to pass? What if it's not true? I feel it's true deep within my core. I listen to Lowell, I listen to all of you, and I resonate with you so strongly. And I think it's got to be true. And then there's this little voice that says, no, Paula, there's nothing that can be this wonderful,
Well, that's your ego kind of popping up, because
It
it's
is.
still alive and well. We just need to tame it. Those are the things, whenever a sentence starts with what if, that's him kicking into gear and forcing you to look at things in a duality mode. What if this, and here's what happens then.
Right.
I've stopped looking for fault, blame, because in the end, they're all lessons. There's nothing good or bad or any of the experiences we're having. We signed up to have them. First of all, let's understand that fully. And after that, it's a contribution to all the rest of us. I always talk about how I appreciate the lousy lessons somebody else learned on the collective's behalf, and you're welcome for the ones that I had to do. All of that was, we wouldn't continue to be the unique beings that are somehow kind of molding our lessons into what is supposed to serve us. So that time when we plug into the fabric of the universe with our gifts that no one else can do, that you just do that so easily because it's just who you are. And the rest of us, like I've said before, marvel at it because it's not us. And yes, some of the tools that we get, we share with one another. And Paul put it beautifully. Other people's experiences help us understand our own, but that's not to be confused with, I need to learn what Lowell does. Because in the end, when the time comes for Lowell to step up, only Lowell can do it anyway. The rest of us have different unique gifts. But if Lowell is that special, and I know he is, and so is Irene and Robyn and Paula and Fatima, and watch what the 5 of us do in a room together with our unique gifts. Oh my God, this is the mentality for where we're going. This is what understanding you're connected to everybody else is, and the law of one really plays itself out.
Exactly. And what's beautiful about it, and I know that they have they do this telos in all of inner earth, you're born so that you can dovetail beautifully with everybody else with your unique offerings. And so why would I want to follow somebody else and become them and have them as my idol when I was born to dovetail with everybody else? We make this beautiful tapestry together, and we express unity and perfection and the oneness of the tapestry while still remaining autonomous. And more than that, you know, like you said, there's that ego within me that's having that little voice, that little, you know, that it's trying to tear me apart. But then I think to myself, but I understand universal law, the Thoth wisdom, right? Because I discovered he is this great wisdom that has imparted upon humanity. It became the mystery school's secret because it's so powerful. And that is whatever I say becomes true, right? I'm creating my reality. And I know a couple of years ago, before I knew Shambhala was like a real place, I thought it was a mythical place. And I was putting in my affirmations. I'm so happy and grateful now that I've been guided to Shambhala, and I can help to guide others to Shambhala too. Boom. Year and a half later, it's like a real place. What? Like, I thought it was mythical and an opportunity to create utopia. And then what do you know? It's created. So it must be true, because we only create our reality. And obviously I've been creating this with all of you, with a group of people that have been doing it together and not subconsciously without really realizing that this was happening. So that's why I'm so grateful that everybody's here and I could be part of this. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you. Fatima, back to you. Now that you've had a chance to kind of digest all of this.
That's amazing, amazing. So many things popping up and so much things to say. I just want very quickly, Robyn. I've heard that language. You spoke more than one. The Norwegian, Paula, that you heard, I've heard it before. I had the same feeling. The Nordic, there is. I mean, from now on, it's not that our what we feel. Oh, maybe not. No, I mean, what I see in Lowell, that as a guide to us that are here, Lowell got it already. I mean, there is no doubts. Lowell came from the center of the earth, from Talos, straight, and that's it. No more. I don't want to say the word like bullshit, but yeah, that's what Lowell believes in. That's it. And the message that Robyn brought, what I felt, and when Robyn talked, I had images. I saw the big heart, so beautiful, shining. And then what they asked, he said, explode your little stuff that doesn't belong there. And you went, boom, like a sun. And then let us cloak you in love. We are here with you. We are all around you. And when you did this with your hands, I saw them embracing us. We are here. Let that ego, you know, that the what if go that Lowell mentioned, you know, and it's time, you know, it's time for our seniority, for our verticality, for believing in ourselves. Leave the little child that is hurt by the parents, by whatever. We already know they hurt us. Forgive them, you know they were hurt also. And let's go together. And now we are here. It's amazing. We are all stars, okay? We are not planets. We are stars, because we, the five of us, at least they are here, we have our light on, ignition. We are ignited already. And it's not only five. When we come together, it's more than five. It's us plus our teams that are here. That's why it's so magical that we get together. I mean, we are alone. We can do a lot of work. But when we get together, you know, that mathematical, it's not five people. It's much more. Two is much more than two, but five is already a lot. So we are very well accompanied here. It's amazing that this happened. I'm going to call my friends and say, oh. And I'm there. So I am very excited and very grateful. This is a result of the turn of the year, you know, the meeting of souls, certain souls that that's really what I feel. The walls left, the veils opened, and now I can see you. You were there. Maybe we know each other from before, but I couldn't see you. And now I see you. This is one of the things that happened with 2023. Yeah. So you can tell, no, I'm so glad to be here and be talking to you. Thank you all. Irene, you speak, you are such a light, you know, you're so filled with so many strings of little lights. You're so beautiful. Yeah. And thank you for your sensitivity. You survived. You said this word because you're extremely sensitive. And you survived. See, if you survived until now, there's nothing that can, you know, throw you again. And now you're going to continue to, wow. Yeah. So we received codes from Robyn. We received codes. They were codes. They're very happy that we are together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lowell, you bring us, I see you as a pillar of light. And it's like, women, you come or you don't come, I don't care about, you know, let's go. I love it. There is something scientific also about it. Like a scientist, there is no wobbles and things. It's the way you speak, what you say, your experience. I've never heard any story of somebody going to the center of the earth. I've read and I have books about the hollow earth and the center of the earth and messages, but it's different that you have somebody channeling the center of the earth. I've heard it enough for several years. I left it. I said, okay, I believe it. And I left it. And I was, what's next? And you came. But it was several years until you got. And when I heard your experience, I couldn't believe it. I said, what? You really went, and the description. Wow. And then Aruko and the painting, and they have it there, you know, and I saw the Aruko paintings then. Amazing. I have to stop talking because
there's too many coincidences to ignore any of that. And that was just, you know, the first phase of my experiences that were multidimensionally. You don't know any of that along the way. The first time it happens, it's just this freaking miraculous thing that I still have trouble digesting. It took months for me to figure out what that meant. And you don't really understand the applications until way after that. And
I see the
then
difference.
When you start to see how the universe connected some dots 2 years ago to now it's clear why those things took place and what happened along the way. And it's my job, yes, as a connector. I love being a connector. Yes, I definitely do. But I also get to be an observer. So I get to help kind of bring things together. I'm meant to trigger some of you in some way. And I'm meant to, you know, open keys of things that you've had already. And again, you all know this without me saying it. I'm not teaching you anything new. We've just unlocked things that you've had stored away inside of you. And you're just all of a sudden you have access to all that recall that's coming to your attention now, and not happenstance either. It's meant for you to have all those things restored to you right now, because I love to say this, and I'm going to remind each one of you, my guides insist for me to continue to tell you that that individual gift that you have makes you a master. You're already a master, and we need you to really embody that as to the best of your abilities now. Because we need that kind of power and energy just surging out of all of us. Fatima was right. You look at us and we're just little light beams now. That's going to increase because you're actually getting physically new light at the same time while your little beam is going off. So it's important more than ever to just be open to the things we don't yet understand or comprehend, because the universe, as soon as it sends one to you, and you assimilate it, here comes the next one. It's just doing everything it can to prepare us for the rise in vibration that we need and that we can help others achieve. We're not going to save them all, and we're not here to change anyone's minds. Yeah, when Fatima said, I'm rock solid, there's no bullshit anymore. You can say the word. I know what's true and what resonates with me, and here's proof. seems to resonate with a lot of other people too. And if no one believed me, they wouldn't listen to me anymore. And this couldn't have been some project that I thought, I'm going to create this story that I want to tell us and let's see how that goes for me. Yeah, none of the rest of this would have lined up. I all along the way got unsolicited messages, multiple ones from Yaya as we were going along. And you don't understand what any of that means until later. Well, it's later. And now we know what all that means. And I'm supposed to be here to help guide others. That whole observer thing. Yeah, here's where not always is anybody else around for those moments when we finally get it. And so when I get to sit in sessions like this and see everyone's faces, and all of a sudden somewhere along the way, somebody said something and I can just see the look on your face and got the trigger, I was here to observe that and catalog it for the Akashic Records, because I was here to witness it and nobody else was. I love to do that. How many times do I get to do that? That is my juice these days. Not that I carry something that the rest of you don't. I do, and I recognize that, but it's not going to be long before I'm that unique anymore. I'm here to tell you that what happened to me is getting ready to happen to the rest of you too. I was just the first wave. That's it.
Thank you for being here and for not giving up, Lowell. You are one of them here. You know that, right? Now you have 2 worlds, and yeah, don't give up on us.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's getting fun now, but I can't deny that all the rest of the white noise around us isn't troubling, and it can get us there. So here's where it's more important for us to just find each other as touchstones. So when, you got a little something just dropping your vibration, here's where the tribe gets together. So you're right. When whoever said that this will serve a purpose later, it's not just, we all showed up here and the 5 of us are the only ones that are ever going to get anything out of this. I've learned that when we record these, that's when the value of them really shows up, because more people get to watch this and digest it whenever they wish. It's great. I like doing them. I missed it. But I think the process had to find the right time and the right day. And I think that this time made it possible for people more all over the globe to kind of participate with me trying to figure out how to do it at 11 o'clock at night and get everything in the inverse. The message and the participants aren't just domestic, are they, Fatima? No. So it's good that we can have these discussions with people no matter where they are. So bless your heart. If you're in Portugal today, then man, thank you for showing up.
Yeah, I don't convince anybody, but I'm going to tell about my story, and whoever feels the call, I know that we don't sell anything. I felt the call along with you and I follow you. I just digged in, and so they can do the same.
Good.
So may I just ask something, because maybe the people that we're going to see this later, they have this question. When you talked about David Wallace, how do you spell his family name? Wallace?
Wallace, W-A-L-L-A-C-E.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're not going to find him a lot of places because Dave, if you don't know a little bit about Dave, I'll tell you, I met him just this summer and we connected like we'd always known one another. Dave's experiences, mine multidimensionally, and tell us his with KJ and these off-planet things that he's been able to enjoy. Dave also was given some downloads. He'd always wanted to, space had always been interesting to him. But he wasn't a mathematician, didn't care for it in school, didn't want to know any of it. But somehow along the way, Dave was given a download so that he understands physics better than lots of the well-known physicists in the world. In fact, there's a group of 500 of them that get together worldwide, and Dave is now one of them. He hangs with people from SpaceX and NASA, and he's showing them images that they don't understand where he got, but they were authentic. So they know he's tied into something else. Well, Dave, in those downloads he got, is working on a space cartography program. So when we start to model these trips that we're going to take to other places, Dave's program avoids us from going through moons and planets. And that's what he's working on. And those are the gifts that he's been given. And again, Dave was not a math guy, and now he has master's level understanding of physics. Yes, those are the gifts that are being brought.
And more these what called spirituality is more and more becoming science, because it's the science of the universe. Jim Self, that I've been following since 2009, was the director of the Department of Physics during when Jimmy Carter was president of the United States. And so it's the science of the universe. It's not anymore the witch that it's in the cauldron with the herbs. I mean, it's also that, but it has another picture, another face. And so that's why I said a while ago, I see you as a scientist, as a science is exact, and the universe is also exact,
Yes. That's true.
There are
Any
no-
other observations here, kids, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, it's truly profound having these connections, because I feel it's true. Becoming much more sensitive, you start to really pick up on even people's expressions. And just by this conversation, I feel something ignited within me in my physicality. And I think what the biggest thing that I've been lately understanding more is that we can be like incarnated souls, right? And knowing you can do things from your meditation, being aware out there, but we need one another to speak or to express, because with your authentic expression, you start to wake up other people's DNA. And this is so profound, because the moment you start speaking about other people, I feel something big ignited within me, which is activating my presence here. And I think this is where it's so beautiful, because I think this is this divine orchestration, and it builds this new trust that we're in this together. And it builds a trust, and we're not alone. And we have very unique, but we come here as a group, and it's just a magical, profound experience. And with this, there's no more competition. There's no more who's first. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and this is where you can see how very quickly in the near future it all starts to break down. It's not even breaking down, it's just dissolving, it's just disappearing from us.
That was exactly the word that came to mind, was dissolving. Those things are they're fading away.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And we start to listen. It's exciting to listen to one another, because it's food, it's nurturance, it's this divine energy. And I think this is a big thing that's been lacking. It feels like a divine mother, like this nurturance. It comes from within, and it's becoming so much more present. And I think in moments when we feel alone, or this whatever waves come, just go within and just ask for it, and it just starts to reappear within you, and it just melts everything away. I've been experiencing this lately. It's just profound.
There's a metaphysical side of us that we all have. We've just ignored it, and we've been conditioned to ignore it for way too long.
Yeah,
But it's been screaming for nourishment. And we get to the point now where you can't ignore those signs anymore. You're connected to something bigger, and down the rabbit holes we start to go. And it just brings me greater understanding of the things that were beyond my comprehension, beyond the things that we were taught. Because school, family, friends, peers, hobbies, professions, none of that prepared us for any of this. And no one talked about any of it. We were, let's just say that there was an agenda to guide our attention, and it's been very successful.
Yeah.
So now that we understand and we want to have our powers and our sovereignty restored back to us, now we really see government for what it is. And now we see all the other systems that were put in place that were all parts of this experimental illusion in the first place. Now we can put it into context, because we know that regardless of whatever is going on and what power human beings think that they really have, that this cycle, cosmic cycle that the earth is in, along with the rest of the universe, is coming whether we're ready for it or not. We're just one of 8 billion little critters crawling on the planet while she's getting ready to go through a new phase of her own existence. And every opportunity to get our attention to prepare us for that rise in vibration so we can still enjoy that experience, everything is trying to be done to get our attention to prepare for that very thing. And so when we get to talk about it, it's just hopefully someone that it was triggered by something is going to find a place like we did where it's comfortable to go have these discussions. And then we get to find out how unique their journey was and where in the fabric of the universe they fit. So it's great.
And it's just a logical next step. That is what I found when I was doing my historical research with my book. When you really break it down, this, where we're going, is the logical next step. It's a quantum leap, but it's only a quantum leap because of our minds have been sort of squished into not allowing it to flow more easily. So we've had to like kind of, it's like a river all dammed up. And so we're having to now make this quantum leap. And those of us that are able to make this quantum leap, once you make it over, you're like, oh, that's a logical next step for humanity. It's logical. You just look through history, you're like pushing forward, a little bit of collapse, pushing forward, a little bit of collapse, pushing forward, a little bit of collapse. We did a big collapse, like you said, with the atomic bomb. There was the opportunity to take Tesla, who was trying to create with the electromagnetic field really good things to reduce suffering for humanity and really take us into the next level. Or we could have used that electromagnetic field and use it for destruction. We made that choice. We made the choice for destruction. And so then, like you said, and that's what my book talks about, we had a choice. We were given the gifts to use it one way or another, and we chose. And then that's when this bigger force had to come in and say, hey, you know what? We're gonna have to come in because you're starting affecting more than just yourselves. You know, like a parent would. You take the toy away. So it's logical. So if I could say anything, any kind of doubt that I would have going forward, as I do, I'm human, or if anybody else has any doubt that listens to this going forward, it is a logical next step when you really look at it. So that's just that one, more that I'd like to just share with that. It's logical.
Thanks for saying so. Robyn, any last words of wisdom?
Well, this has been happening for eons. I had watched this, that's happened, you know, what you were talking about, Paula, for eons. In medicine in Peru, they shared with me, watched a giant ship, and they showed me the creation of civilization, and then watched it fall, and watched another civilization and watched it fall, and another civilization and watched it fall. And gosh, I can't remember how long I watched it, and it just, temples rise and pyramids rise and fall, and watched it rise and fall. And it was the most beautiful thing. I watched for hours. And Mother Gaia and all these beings and all these beautiful angels showing me all of this creation. It was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. to watch how it won't end. We won't end. How more beautiful civilizations will be created, and how humanity will survive and thrive, and how we are eternal, and our souls, our spirit, our light is eternal. It was the most beautiful thing. And yet that's all I want to end on.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be here again next Saturday. I'll probably get this posted later today, so we'll be able to share it on YouTube, and I put the audio files out there on most of the podcast networks as well. So if you want to if you're willing to share it, of course, and I hope that you will. And if you run into others, they're absolutely welcome to participate in these. I have, when we were talking about Dave, I want to just touch on him one more time. Dave and I both kind of concluded at the end of last year that there was just sometimes the energy in some of these conferences was different. And it seems to become more of like a circus, and we weren't interested in any of that. It's not that we aren't here to assist others, but it's like every time someone wants me to tell a story over again, I'm glad to do that. But if that's all you're getting out of this, then you really don't understand, what we're trying to get across. And so it's not that Dave isn't willing to share some more of these experiences, but he's done telling a story about being in a ship with KJ. He's done with that. He said that was what got people's attention to me, but that's not who I am. No, much more has happened, just like to me and Telos. We just didn't get a chance to see any of that until we got down the road. So you had some perspective on what had taken place. Then you're grateful and appreciative because you saw the other things that happened in between and what it's all leading up to. And so Dave will participate in some of these. We'll have some other one-on-one sessions that I do, or small groups that I will also post out there, because they'll have information that's for everybody as well. Bless your hearts. Thank you for showing up, because every time I get into one of these scenarios with you, there's information that was meant for me too. So I thank you.
And
Thank you.
You did a conversation with Dave Wallace. If Fatima or anybody else wants to go back
Thank
and
you. Yeah.
I don't know the date, but I did watch it. So
yeah, they're
one
if you
or
go to
two
my
maybe.
YouTube channel, you'll find them there. They're the histories
Okay.
there.
Thank you.
Also,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to signing up with your New Earth program. You said that it also comes on recording, because I can't attend live, but I can.
Yes.
So for other people too, you should let them know that you're offering that. That is New
Yeah,
Earth.
I should probably pitch that. Yes. At the end of the
You're
month.
not a very good businessman, despite.
No, I'm not. If it was up to me to
probably tell
market the
people.
stuff, you're right.
I'm signing up for it today, even though I can't attend in person. So there is a recording out there for future too, right?
There's a wonderful platform with lots of this type of content called New Earth One Network. Loren Gailey has been interviewing people for a long time, and those people have contributed content to educate others. I started last year when people were interested in understanding the Ascension Handbook, because that's a deep document. So I did those in like 4 consecutive Saturdays for like 2 hours. People had an opportunity to ask the questions that they were digesting in reading the handbook. So when it's time for me to address light energy, like we began to talk about today, light beings that I've had contact with, because this is the next stage of interactions for all of us. It just made sense to be able to go back to Lauren and do that on her platform. And then when people knew that I was coming back to do that, she got another request back that would I be available to do a Q&A on the Ascension Handbook again? Well, absolutely, positively. that's just presuming that somebody's gone through the content already, and it's a lot. However, I still point back to that. I didn't write it. I didn't channel it. That was information that was kind of just batoned off to me to continue to put that information out. It's the rock solid foundation of everything I understood about what was going to take place during Ascension, and the Golden Tide documents dotted I's and crossed T's. And so here is where most of my experience and wisdom came from, and it all resonates like crazy with me. And those people that have seen it, especially the handbook, it was so wonderfully written, but you could tell it was written back with the expectation that winter solstice 2012 was when the shift was going to take place. And we understood, looking back, on why that conclusion was drawn with all those cycles that the Earth had been in. They all came to a reset at that particular time, but it wasn't until we were a little more bathed in this now photon belt that we find ourselves in for the next 2,000 years, until we started to really digest that level of light. Here is where the little prod for Earth to get her consciousness kind of kicked in the rear end at the same time when all of this other phenomenon is taking place as a result of it. So while we're witnessing all these changes in weather here and looking at crazy solar phenomenon, here is what is causing what's going to take place here. One of those flares or a solar wind under the right conditions is going to finally collapse that magnetic field around Earth. And it's not a kill shot. It's not a kill shot. But here is where the time for those golden tie areas to be, the safe zones to be found. Here's where the vibration's ready for the rest of you, while the rest of the planet is going to entropy until she's done with her new morphing. Yeah, it's coming. And I couldn't be happier about it. The discerning part that I just need to be mindful is there are people that may see that and freak out by the dates that they see. If we wanted to believe that that window of time was from 2015 to 2025, like it was nested in there, that would be rather concerning. The inside of me tells me tomorrow would be the day that under the right circumstances, that shift is going to take place and all the conditions are right for it. Look at all the tsunamis and earthquakes and oh my God, everything is at peak levels right now to demonstrate that there is different energy coming our way, and Earth is posturing herself to be able to adjust to it. Now we, with the intelligence we've been given, need to focus on how we get our vibrations to match when the time comes. And here's where we are.
Awesome. So that's New Earth One Network.
Yes.
And then I watched the podcast, Light Energy and Light Beings with Lowell Johnson. And you said the host, her name again was?
Lauren, Lauren, like Lauren. She just spells it or pronounces it differently. Gailey, Galey.
Okay. And then there's the View Lowell special offer here. So that's I'm signing up for, and it's recorded. So I just think it's important people get this information.
Thank you for saying so. All right, gang. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday if you're around. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So nice. Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.